ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगीव यस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततन्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः 21st verse वेदाविनाशिनं नित्यम् यगेनमजमव्ययम् कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकम् So Veda may know अर्थात what do you know? Avinashinam nityam enam. Enam means this. Oh Arjuna, the one who knows this. Veda also means vijanati, one who knows this self to be avyayam and not subject to decline, ajam, unborn, nityam, timeless, and avinashinam, indestructible. One who knows this means this self to be like this, then what happens? Katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. Katham sah purusha katham hanti, katham ghatayati, etc. So katham means how. How and whom does that person kill? Katham kam hanti. So you have to combine this together. There are three questions. Katham hanti, kam ghatayati, katham ghatayati. You can take even 4 questions also. Katham means how. How does that person kill? Kam hanti, whom does that person kill? Kam ghatayati, whom does he cause to kill? These are the questions. One who knows this Atma which is indestructible, which is not subject to death, etc., which is not subject to birth, well then in that case, how can this thing happen? So one who thinks that Atma performs the action of killing or any other action for here we know very well This is just a contextual. There are thousands of action one the karta can choose. An agent of an action can choose any action. Kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, anyatha kartum shakyam. He can choose the action, this action or that action. He can choose. He can do the action differently. He can even drop the action. He can suspend the action. Everything can do. So he has a choice. But here, because the context is of a war, and Arjuna's sorrow is born of killing, etc. Well, so Bhagavan is talking in this in terms of a killing action. So one who thinks that Atma performs the action of killing or any action for that matter, let's say, does not know Atma, and the one who looks upon Atma as an object of the action of killing or any other action for that matter, he also does not know the Atma. Why? Because we have seen earlier, Nayam hanti na hanyate, na ayam Atma na hanti na hanyate. Atma doesn't, that Atma that is I, well, it doesn't kill anybody, nor it is killed also. It is not a subject of killing, it is not a object of killing also. Na hanti na hanyate. So, if we put it a little positively, one who takes Atma to be neither the subject nor the object of action knows the Atma. Atma is not a karta, that is called Atma is a karta, Atma is a bhokta. Well, that's a knowledge. If one doesn't have this knowledge, one takes oneself to be the agent of action, and here it is killing action. And one takes oneself to be the object of killing action. Object means one receiving the killing action of somebody. And therefore he gets, I am being killed. That all kind of a notion also can arise. Or I am the killer. That kind of a notion also can arise. I am an agent of action or object. Subject or object. So what has been pointed out, in the previous verses, Bhagavan is summing up. That's how Bhashyakara puts this thing. So Bhagavan's initial statement was that Atma does not become the karta or karma of any kriya, including killing. That's for Hanan kriya, So this is what has been told earlier. It has Bhagavan is summarizing in the second line of this verse. Now, having introduced this point, Bhagavan explains also this is why this is so. Because Atma is not subject to change. That has been told in the last verse itself. In the verse 20, we have seen that I am not subject to change. Even though I feel that I was child and I was young and now I'm little aged or whatever, and I am going to die, was having a birth, etc. Well, you feel there are all kinds of modifications are attached to the I. But the reality is, they all pertain to the body. And I, the consciousness, definitely is not subject to change. And having given, so na jayate, mriyate va, kadachit, etc. Bhagavan has told. And this has been, of course, quoted from the Kathopanishad. And so Bhagavan has given the validity also for that. Even Nayam hanti hanyate, the previous verse, that is the 19th verse also Bhagavan has quoted from the Kathopanishad. 28th verse also Bhagavan has quoted from the Kathopanishad. And you may be feeling that this all has been told in the earlier verse itself. In verse 20, Bhagavan has already told Ajam, then Nityam, Avinashinam, all these things has been told. But still, Bhagavan is telling again in order to sum up the things and all, in order to give a clarity regarding the Atma. So, having given all this reason, Bhagavan concluded that one who knows the Atma well knows it to be Avinashi, not subject to death or destruction, because it is not subject to change. And the last modification is death. Death means, we have seen now, very well, the death is nothing but that particular form is not available for transaction. That's all it means. We will not put like that this particular form is not visible. We will not put that way, because there are other forms. A sound form also is there. Then the form to see also is there. And therefore, this not in terms of seeing, etc. Not available for transaction. That's all we should say. That particular form is not available for transaction. And when how come that form has arisen? Then yesterday I was telling you, like even without birth, the things are appearing. That is how the mithya is. There is no real birth from Atma. This creation Even though we say it is the cause is ultimately Atma, but Atma has not created anything. If Atma creates everything, means Atma, which is a consciousness, undergoes a change. But it has to undergo a change because the creation is inert. And therefore the consciousness has modified into inertness. Well, that can never happen. Then in that case, Atma is not subject to change. That statement becomes wrong. And therefore, even without creating everything, everything appears. That's a beauty. That is what very elaborately this particular section has been this kind of the section is elaborately discussed in Mandukya Upanishad. That's the last chapter, that is called Alata Shanti Prakranam. And of course in Mandukya Upanishad they call Ajati Vada or Ajatvada. Jatam means a Janma. So even without really getting birth from Atma, things are all appearing. And therefore yesterday I explained you that how come it appears, because that particular, like I have given you example of a clouds, etc. Well, the clouds which are, clouds come nearby and they created varieties of the shapes of like a horse and elephants and everything. Horse, elephants cannot be created in space. They are created from their own parents, Well, but still without really getting created, they appear. Horse and elephants and varieties of the things appear in the sky. Just because, the few constituents, that is clouds, they arrange in a certain fashion and things appear to you. So it need not be that always the things are created. 1 minute. So anyway, and therefore there are two things, Sat and Asat. That also Bhagavan has very clearly, nicely said. We have not touched right now for that. Yesterday I have not touched. But Nasato vidyate bhavaha, nabhavo vidyate sataha. There also Bhagavan has told two things, Sat and Asat. Sat is this Atma which is self-existent, which does not undergo any kind of modification. And Asat is something which continuously modifies. That is non-I, that is Anatma, which continuously modifies. It has all the 6 vikaras, everything is there. And you can include even the body also. Well, body is Asat, body is Mithya. This Asat, the body's existence is dependent upon the Sat. Sat is self-existent, and the body's existence is dependent upon the Sat. That's how it is Mithya. So the body's change is definitely called a Bhava Vikara. We have seen that Jayate, Mriyate, Asti, etc. We have dealt it in detail. So all these 6 vikaras are there: Jayate, Asti, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate and Vinashyati. And Jayate means is born, and then Asti means definitely it is. Then once it is born, you can say it is. Once a thing appear, then you can say it is. Like the clouds are there, but till they combine in a certain fashion, and then the particular manifestation of horse, etc. is not there. Till then you cannot say it is Asti. So Jayate means it's born, and then Asti means it is. Vardhate means grows, and then Viparinamate we say metamorphosis. In metamorphosis means there is a struggle between a growth and the waning. Growth and declines. In between there is definitely some kind of a struggle. So certain part wants to grow, and the other process, well, it comes in its way. And that is how externally you find body has not changed. That particular state comes between almost between age of 30 to 40. This kind of things will occur, in which definitely or in my opinion it is after 25 or etc. Because whatever the growth has to happen of a body in terms of height and these and everything, it is up to 20 or 25. Later it remains as it is. Even though the person eats whatever, he may be eating very well, because being a young, he may eat well, but still you won't find it is still, this height is increasing and his weight is also increasing. You won't find such kind of things. Well, that is how it is. So we say metamorphosis. Anyway, that's called viparinamaha. Then apakshiyate means waning or declining, and vinashyati dies. So Avinashinam Bhagavan says, so the last vikara is not there. that vikara belongs to only non-I or anatma. It doesn't belong to atma. So vinashi means that particular form. Anatma, but it has a name and form. That particular form vanishes. That goes. It is not available for transaction. Well, that is how we should understand. And anyway, so this is these are different bhavikas. We should put in our mind these two categories, sat, asat, and there are no two categories. To begin the inquiry in the Vedanta, we have two categories, because we are going to have an inquiry which is called discriminative inquiry. And discriminative inquiry is required because in as much as anatma and atma as though has merged into one. Not merged really speaking, they have not combined together, but as though. So atma is taken as a body, and body looks very conscious, and therefore body, whenever a person refers to atma or the self, he always refers to the body. His all introduction to the self is all in terms of the body. Not only just gross body, in terms of subtle body, in terms of even causal body also, that I am ignorant, etc. also, he tells. And therefore, what I am saying is that we start with the two categories, sat and asat, satya and mithya. That's how it started even in the Tattva Boda. Atma satyam tadanyat sarvam mithya. Really speaking, tadanyat is not there. You can understand very well. Atma and any atma is the satyam. And other than that, what is other than that? There is nothing other than that. And clay and other than that. And water and other than that. What is other than that, Swami? It is all waves. Well, water and waves, are they really different things or what? No, they are not different. So, but for to have a discrimination, we start with this way. Anyway, so these all bhavikaras belong to that asat. Whatever you are dealing with in the creation is asat. Whatever you deal with daily, either in dream, either in waking state, is all asat, is all mithya. And it has this sixfold modification, including vinasha. Vinasha means, as I told you, nash dhatu has a meaning, adarshanam, not available for transaction. Darshanam means not just seeing. And therefore, a invisible form continues, all throughout. Invisible form continues like this virus. A virus also has its body, whatever its body, has all six modifications, but entirely it is invisible. Please understand this very well. So, just a visibility, etc. is not, we should not consider in a transaction. There are other transactions other than seeing also, like hearing, smelling, etc. Like what you smell, sometimes a beautiful, it's a fragrance, well, but you don't see, you don't see that. And there are sounds also, you hear, they don't have a visibility, etc. We say they have waves and everything, that's correct. But as such, they are not available. The perception has manifold things. So it's not just nash means adarshanam, not visible, we should not say, it's not available for transaction. Any kind of a transaction not available. That form, was having, I deal with this form in terms of, utilizing the form, etc. I am seeing it. It has a certain sound also. Everything. This is all transaction. And therefore, this particular form, this has a particular modification called vinasha. Means it is not available for transaction anymore. That's all. Suppose I melt it. Suppose I melt it. Then, well, now I can no more do the transaction as a clip. So we should understand the two categories. One which is asat is having all these six modifications. And atma is something, never available for modification. Never available for objectification itself. Where is the question of then modification? What is available for objectification is available also for modification. So there is nothing to worry about. And so Atma is avinashi. Bhagavan says, one who knows Ya enam atmanam avinashinam Veda. This is how syntax is. Then we will add some more. First, let's put the small sentence. Yaha enam atmanam avinashinam Veda. One who knows this Atma. Veda, I told you, Vijanati. This is vid dhatu. Vid dhatu has two forms. One particular set of forms in which it's a third person singular is Vijanati. And it has also another set of forms in which the third person singular is Veda. So Veda is equal to Vijanati means one who knows. And of course Yaha is there. So Yaha Veda, one who knows. And so Avinashinam, so means it is not subject to death. Means what? It is not subject to time. Why it is not subject to time? Care of Tattva-bodha. So it is timeless. It is timeless. It provides the existence to the time. It doesn't exist in the time. Consciousness provides the existence to the time. Consciousness, because of the consciousness, time shines. Time doesn't shine independently. Time does not have existence independently. Well, time is, consciousness is. Therefore, consciousness is not. Therefore, time is not. Please don't tell that. Please don't tell that. Consciousness is not. Consciousness is not. We should not. We should never tell that. And because that situation will not occur. No, Swamiji. Suppose one person said me like this. Suppose consciousness is not there. I said, how do you know that consciousness is not there? Well, I know that. Okay, consciousness is there. Okay, don't say ahead. So consciousness is not there. Abhava of a consciousness. Chaitanya abhava is proved by Chaitanya. No one can prove. So basically Atma is timeless. That's all. No death, no birth, no old age, no youth, no childhood, nothing. All belongs to Asat. All belongs to this so-called forms for which we have different names. As it modifies, we give a different name. This body, when it was small, etc., we call it as a child. Now it modifies further, we call it as a youth. It further modifies, we call it as mid-age person. And further modifies, we can old age person. Further modifies, that particular form itself will not remain. It has modified into another form. That's called Vinasha. Anyway, but Atma is something invariably present in all. That's how the person says. Person always say, when I was a child, like that he starts. When I was a child, the person, the conscious being was right there in the childhood. So one thing is changeless, one thing is changing, right? The body keeps on changing. It has a modification, but the one who is right now in this body, who is the same one, was present even in the childhood. So Atma is changeless. Atma does not have any change. Well, Atma is also known by this, the wise man, as Ajam, Bhagavan says. We have discussed this, so nothing to discuss here. Atma is unborn. No one can be a witness of one's own birth. No one. Always birth is witnessed by somebody else. And there is birth of body. Always birth of body. No one has seen till today birth of Atma. Every parent has seen the birth of body, not birth of the. We are not saying the birth of body is birth of Atma. For us, that's what our teaching is. Atma is not the body, is our teaching. So don't say that body is born means Atma is born. Please don't say that. For us, our body is something which is altogether of a different category. It comes in a seemingly existent category. It comes in a asat category. It is not in a sat category. It comes in a borrowed existent category. It comes in a borrowed revealed category. You can say all this. Well, and therefore, it is unborn. Anything which is not subject to time cannot be born, cannot die. That's all. That's all. Please try to concentrate. If you want to come out of the fear, the very basic fear day in and day out, well, I should not refer to pandemic situation, but please understand this. The pandemic situation has a certain transactional reality. But it has become a great pain for everybody because I am subject to death by the virus. Please, I don't want to refer much because it's not fair for me to talk about too much. But I'm trying to tell you how you are timeless. Please try to see that. That's my earnest request to you. It's not that you will tomorrow itself you will come and tell me, Swamiji, I have known now Atma. I am free from the fear. It takes time. It is going to take time. It's not that easy. But you can initiate. You can definitely initiate. Swamiji, we have initiated. You have not to initiate. Okay, that's fine. I'm just refreshing you with this. But basically understand the relationship between time and you. Whether time affects you or basically you exist and therefore time exists. Please try to see that. Try to see that. And how can I see, Swamiji? You have 3 states of experiences. Well, waking, dream and deep sleep. And well, what is independent, what is dependent, you now can do on your own. And therefore, enam, ajam, this Atma is, so we have to add now, enam, Atmanam, ajam, avinashinam, nityam, veda. One more, avyayam, it doesn't decline. Well, we have the modification called decline, apakshaya, we have seen that. Well, it belongs to the body, it doesn't belong to. Vyaya also has a meaning, Vyaya means an expenditure. Like dhana vyaya means basically expenditure of the wealth. Dhana vyaya. So when you expand something, definitely it is going to decline, right? So dhana vyaya means expenditure of a wealth. When you do expenditure, then the wealth, whatever wealth you have, is subject to decline. And therefore, same way, so here Atma is avyayam means na vyeti iti avyayah. Na vyeti iti avyayah, it is not subject to decline. If it is not subject to death, then it is not going to decline also. One which declines will die. One which declines will die. It may be a wealth also. It keeps on declining and declining and declining and declining because of the expenditure. Well, one day you will say, Swamiji, now the wealth is non-existent. It is not there. So this is how it is. And therefore, Vyaya itself, it's just a previous modification before Vinasha. We have seen that. Apakshiyate, Vinashyati. Right? In the 6-fold modifications, we have seen that that's the 5th modification is Apakshaya. It decline, and Vinashyati means dies. It is just before that, penultimate modification, before the death, before that thing loses the form. Well, this is a thing. So where Atma is avyaya, is not subject to decline. Even this avyaya word is very beautiful word in Sanskrit grammar also. And therefore, I'm sorry, 1 minute. So basically, what happened? So avyaya means in Sanskrit grammar also, this is a beautiful thing. Avyaya, there are 3 types of words as such in grammar. We divide grammar means, Sanskrit grammar means a language. Language means words. And there are many types of words. One of the category, let's say, one of the category is avyaya, means indeclinable. Indeclinable. And really speaking, if you look at from that angle also, Atma is really avyaya. In grammar we say, the avyaya word is one which is free from the number, free from the gender, free from the case. So that particular word, like I will tell you, here, of course, but anyway, you know this word, like chakara, cha, right? We use the word Ramaha, Lakshmanash, Ramascha, Lakshmanascha. For the cha means and, Rama and Lakshmana. In between we put cha. Now this cha is called indeclinable. It doesn't decline. means what? It has no gender, it has no number, it has no case. Now number etc., case etc. I am dropping because it becomes too complicated, but in terms of gender also we can understand that any indeclinable word in a language, in Sanskritam basically, is free of the gender. This cha is equal to and has no gender. You cannot tell me that cha is a masculine word, cha is a feminine word, or cha is a neuter word. No, it is free of the gender. So avyaya is something, avyaya, the word, that's whole category of the words, they are free from the gender. You cannot brand them masculine, feminine, or neuter. Well, Atma also is avyaya. Atma is indeclinable. Atma also is free of the gender. Free of the gender. Atma, Swamiji, but Atma is a masculine word. But definitely masculine word. But Atma is not masculine. As a word it is masculine. But Atma is not a masculine. Because all this, in all the forms what you see in the world, those forms you can, put in different categories. Like this particular form is a masculine form. Then there are forms where some of our friends who have joined, they are feminine form. And some other, there are certain things in the world where they have a neuter form in terms of gender. So feminine gender, masculine gender, and neuter gender. That those gender applies to the forms. But one who is the essence of all the forms, well, it doesn't have its own gender. And therefore, what is the truth of all the forms is basically is free of gender. Atma is the essence of everything. Atma is the essence of even the masculine form. Atma is the essence of a feminine form. Atma is the essence of a neuter form. That Atma itself is free of any gender. And that's how Atma is called avyaya. That's how it is. That's how people say, Swamiji, what is the gender of Ishvara? They say like that. What is the gender? Is Ishvara is he or she or it? Well, we say it is neither he nor she nor it. Or if you want to say, we would like to tell. Generally what happens, the problem occurs is, and especially, the women will definitely say, Swamiji, whenever you talk about Ishvara, you always put he. So really Ishvara is a masculine form or not? No. It is the essence of all the forms. All the forms have a borrowed existence from the Paramatma or Atma, that is self-existent. Well, and therefore definitely it has no particular gender. And therefore it is called avyaya. In that way also we can see that. One Acharya has referred, our Pujya Swamiji also has referred like that. Anyway, so now bringing up one more point, we are just summarizing in this verse what we have seen in the previous verses, from verse 12 to up to verse 20, whatever we have discussed about Atma, we are summarizing here. So one more point also we will now summarize here. And that is regarding Kartrutvam and Bhoktrutvam. That of course in verse 19 Bhagavan has already told about it. So here it is summarizing. Kam hanti, the question, that's in second line. Kam hanti means whom does that person destroy? That person destroys somebody or not? Means he is an agent of action, of destruction or not? That's a question. Kam ghatayati, whom does he impel to kill? Whom does he cause to kill? He himself is not doing, suppose. And therefore he impels, prompts, causes somebody to kill, causes somebody to act. So there are two types of things. Sometimes you are not directly, like in a car there are two kinds of people. One is who drives the car, and the other who is sitting in the backside. He drives the driver. He causes the driver to drive. He impels driver to drive. He all the time gives instruction. Just see here, the car is coming. Just take it little left. Take it little left. I am telling you. And he keeps on instructing. And therefore, generally, I have seen in India, not here, don't worry. In India I have seen then, the male he drives, and then that Mataji, whether is sitting in the back side or is sitting in the side, he all the time she passes the instruction. Just take care. See, just take care. Some vehicle is coming. This is coming. A cow is coming. Because in India, everything comes in the way. And the cycle is coming. And this is coming. And therefore, take it left, take it right. Now there is a right turn. Now there is a right turn. Or traffic lights. And then you say green signal is there or right rear signal is there. He is seeing everything. He is able to drive. No, but that person causes the driver to drive. Impels the driver to drive. So there are two kinds of things. Han dhatu means to kill. And you can make another root from this and make a form of it called ghatayati. Ghatayati means basically causes to kill. Like, may Bhagwan, Bhagwan has nothing to do with, but Bhagwan, he is not going to take a weapon in his hand. That's what his pratignya was. That's what his resolve was. But he can definitely prompt Arjuna to kill. Arjuna, kill now, kill now. So we say Bhagavan is ghatayati. Bhagavan impels Arjuna to kill. That's how we can tell. So it is ghatayati. Hanti means he kills. Anyway, so in all actions, even I have seen, even in, they hire a cook sometime. Hire a cook. And therefore cook does the cooking. Well, but no. But the lady, in the house, she stands in the kitchen and just keeps on passing the instruction to the cook. Do this, do that, do that. Now cut the vegetables. Now, so this is a call. He impels the cook to cook. So she also takes, indirect role into that. She directly doesn't cook. Otherwise, why should they keep cook for the cooking? But even though cook is cooking, she stands in the kitchen and continues to give instruction till the person leaves. Now, make this much chapati only. Daily she tells. I don't know why. That's very funny thing for me. Daily. Because 5 people are there in the family and cook knows that there are 5 people. But, then once only, when you appoint some cook for cooking, you will have to tell that you make this many chapatis because we eat, such and such person eat this, such and such person eat this. Well, that's fine. So he knows now. But daily she tells, make this chapati, make this many chapatis, make this number of chapatis, make this number of chapatis. I don't know why. So then sometimes cook gets, he gets irritation. Then he said, for what you are keeping me? If you are constantly, wash the vegetables. Cut in this, this size of, cutting of the vegetables should be of this size. Why are you telling all that? I don't know. But she cannot remain. So she just stands in the kitchen and impels the cook to cook. That's how it is. It is called pachayati in Sanskrit. Pachati means to cook. Pachayati means to cause somebody to cook. To impel, to prompt somebody to cook. Pachati, pachayati. Hanti, ghatayati. This is how the things are. This is just for your knowledge, to make you more familiar with the verse. Anyway, so here Bhagavan is telling, so a question is not really being, even though it looks a question, kam hanti, katham hanti, kam ghatayati, looks question, right? We have seen the questions and translation also. How does that person kill? Whom does that person kill? Whom does he cause to kill? Etc. etc. So they look questions. They are not questions. They are not questions. We call them as a, not prashna. We call them in Sanskritam as a akshepaha. Akshepaha means answer is ready. There is no expectation of the answer by asking a question. Such thing is called akshepa. Means what is the answer? Ready answer is there. Means whom does he kill? He cannot kill. That's what the answer is. He cannot kill. That's all. So question has no other answer. Like whom does he or really we want to know whom does he or she kill? Where is the person being killed? Where is that action? Where that action took place? All the no. No such kind of a inquiry is there. This question reveals that there is no possibility that Atma can kill somebody. Whom does that kill? Even in Vyavahara, sometimes we use this. Do you think that I speak untruth? Do you think so? If a person asks questions, then what's the answer expected? No. You can't speak untruth. Like that we have to tell. That's what it is. If the answer will be either in yes or no only. That question is called akshepa. Akshepa. Answer is ready. Do you think I can call that person? Do you think so? Like, means you cannot call. Yeah, I understand. You cannot. You have not called, right? So that kind of answer in yes or no. So whom does that person? Whom does that person kill? Well, answer is that person cannot kill because Atma is not an agent of an action. That's what the answer is. So how can one kill and whom does one kill we should really look into this question, that it is not possible for the Atma to kill somebody. And why it is not possible? That's what the inquiry is here. Because there is some vikriya or change on one's part whenever one performs an action. And Atma being free from any vikriya, any modification, Atma cannot become the agent of an action. Well, I will refer, which we already seen, who is a karta basically in this body, the conscious body. In this, who is a real karta? We have seen it through analysis, and I'm going to just remind it. But before that, let's put one more doubt here, that if there is no vikriya except now, na jayate, mriyate, etc., jayate, asti, vardhate, all these vikaras in asat, all these vikaras in anatma, Atma is free from any modification. Well, and therefore, if there is no modification for Atma is basically changeless, then one who knows such Atma, that I don't perform any action, such person also, can that perform any action or not? Could you follow what I am saying? Atma does not perform any action because Atma is changeless. One who knows that the Atma is changeless, can that person perform an action or not? That's a big question. And you won't find any person, so-called wise person, who knows the Atma like this, that I am akarta. And still that person does thousands of activities. He or she, whoever may be, is more busy than us. In 24 hours, we may be working for 8 hours or 9 hours. And such people, the wise people, you find they are working day and night. And they say that I am akarta. And they perform so many actions. One day in America, and the next day you find in Kuwait, and third day you find in somewhere else. And not just going somewhere. Well, that is also action. They go there and do varieties of the things. They speak also, and then they meet many people, and they do so many things. Even for the dharma also they may be doing so many things. Right here the Bhagavan himself is so busy. Bhagavan himself is busy. And if you ask Bhagavan that what do you think about yourself? He says, I am akarta. He has told at one place also, it will come in future. Well, of course we are going to end at chapter 2, but what I am saying is, it is going to come. Bhagavan is going to reveal that I am akarta. Tasya kartaram apimam vidhi akartaram, Bhagavan said in 4th chapter. In the 4th chapter, Bhagavan has very beautifully told, vidhi akartaram, may you know, Arjuna, I am akarta. I am not a performer of any action. Even from the worldly angle, I am told as a creator and sustainer, etc. Tasya jagatah kartaram. People call me as a sustainer and creator and destroyer and everything. Well, I don't create anything, I don't sustain anything, I don't destroy anything. Vidhi akartaram, etc. Bhagavan very beautifully says. And same Bhagavan is busy throughout the life. the way, whatever I know about his life, I feel he was busy than any other politician in this world. So busy, performing varieties of the action, and at the same time telling I am not doing anything. How to understand that? It's a great confusion. It's a great confusion. So this is one more doubt we have. Now let's go to this doership and enjoyership. I'm reminding right now because we have seen that. Well, when you say I am a karta, who is a karta? Who is a karta? Think that I am not wise. I don't know the Atma. Think that way. And therefore, let's put the question. When I say I am karta, suppose if I am ignorant, definitely I am going to say body is performing an action. Definitely. Because I feel body does varieties of the things. After the class is over, I take a walk. Then body walks, definitely. But nobody says, even Muktatma won't say that body is walking on the trail. Such thing will not happen. So therefore, if I say so, all people in the ashram will feel he should be taken to some hospital before it worsens the situation. I mean, therefore, situation worsen before that, let him take. If I tell body is coming to the dining hall for eating, body is going on a trail for walking, well, you feel this person has gone mad. But definitely I say that I am walking. I am going to a dining hall for eating. Definitely. Who is going? Body only is going, right? You are seeing the body, you don't see the Atma, you cannot see also Atma. And therefore, let's take at a gross level, body is agent of an action. Body is karta. Body is, physical body is karta. Because everyone sees the physical body does all the things. Well, the physical body is a karta. Then definitely the question, I mean, this answer has to be analyzed. This answer is not correct. Very first thing is, even though it appears that body is doing all the actions, it's not correct. Why? Because many actions, for astika I am saying, the person who believes in the previous life or one who believes in the next life, etc., for such a person, this person, suppose this body is a person, is Atma, then so many actions he does in this life for which he is not experiencing the result of an action. Experience of result also goes to the, enjoyment of the result also goes to the person who performs the action. That is the law. That's the law. That is the vyavastha, that is we find here in the, that's the arrangement we find in the world. If that is not there, well, it is a great chaos. You do something and I have to face the situation later. Well, that's not so. If you do something, you have to face what comes. The result comes to you. If you do something, the result of that particular action, what you did, comes to you. And therefore, yaha karta sa eva bhokta. Right? Yaha karta sa eva bhokta. One who does action, he reaps the result of an action also. Then many actions are done many actions are done by this body, and then this body perishes. Then now who will reap the result? Who will reap the result? Some other body, next Janma, he will gain the result. Because I am astika. So I believe in punya and papa and everything. So definitely if I have done papa, some bad actions, and if I don't get the result of those actions in this life, definitely in the next life I will get. But next life, new body will be there, not this body. This body will turn to ashes. Then the vyavastha will not be there. Arrangement, we have a good arrangement. One who performs an action will definitely has to face the result of an action. Well, then this vyavastha will not be there, because this body has performed all actions, bad actions, let us say, and then the result of action will be faced by next body, and the next janma means next body, but that is not vyavastha. So that particular body has to face a lot of difficult situations, born of the papam, done in the previous life, But that body has done. The body has done, then this body only has to face. Before it departs, before it falls off, not departs, before it falls off, it has to face the situation. That's not correct. That's not correct. Therefore, body is not a karta. Right? Definitely body is not a karta. If body has done something wrong, it has to face the result before it falls off. And in the next life, there is a new body. And if it is facing some different situation, then definitely this karta must not be the body, something else in the body. That's how we say. Okay, come to the senses. Now body means afterwards, the gross body is not a karta, then subtle body. We have only few things. And therefore, start blaming that who has done this. So now this, this senses, well, senses are not a karta. Senses are definitely accessories in performing an action. Senses are not directly agent of an action. And therefore senses are just instruments of performing an action. And then prana. Well, prana means the vital air. Well, that also helps in an action. They are not karta. They help in action. Because without energy, you cannot perform an action. The energy is given by the prana, the vital air. And therefore, prana also is not a karta. Senses means all 10 sense organs of action, sense organs of perception. Well, they are not karta. They are just instruments in performing an action. Then what is left over in subtle body? Well, the people who have studied Tattva Bodha know very well. The mind alone is left over. Then we have to blame the mind. So gross body is not a karta, senses are not a karta, they are instruments. Vital air, prana also is not a karta, it is helpful in the performance of action by providing energy. Only mind is a karta. And that's correct. That's very much correct. Mind is a karta. And mind definitely is a karta. And that I have told you. In action, whatever is required, all is performed in the mind. How? See, to perform an action, you require knowledge and skills. So knowledge and skills are there in the mind. Right? You have a storage, a big storage of knowledge and skills. For a particular action, a particular data you bring to the mind. But that's storage also in the mind. And therefore, one thing which is needed before action takes place is knowledge and skill. Without knowledge and skill, one cannot perform action. So one part, well, that is in the mind. Second part is, even though you have knowledge and skills, you have a desire to perform an action. So second part is desire. Well, desire also is what? Is the mind. Whatever I am telling you here, you consider in terms of thoughts, then you will understand very well. So before performing action, you need a knowledge. Knowledge will be in the thought form. Skills also will be in a thought form. And then desire also is in a thought form. And then the third thing, even these two things are there, action will not take place. You need a third thing also. And what is that? A resolve or a decision to perform an action. You have a certain desire, see, right? That I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. You may have that desire, but really you are not doing so many times because you have not decided to do. Therefore, three things are required. What three things? First is, knowledge and skill. Well, it is in the thought form. Desire is in thought form, and the decision also is in the thought form. And then, so all that the origin, the seed of that action is these three things. That is the seed. And once you decide, yes, I am going to do this. I am going to do laundry today. Let's say. First you have a knowledge of doing laundry. Skill of doing laundry. Otherwise there will be a problem. So knowledge and skill of doing laundry. Then second thing, desire to do laundry. And the third thing is a decision to do laundry. Yes, I am going to do it today or tonight, whatever. So all the three things are there. Then knowledge of doing laundry takes place. Then the action of doing laundry takes place. So it occurs there in the mind. Mind is a seed. So mind is a karta. Without that, no action takes place. No action takes place. If there is no desire, no action takes place. If there is no decision, no action takes place. No knowledge, etc., skill, etc., no action takes place. So people do varieties of the things without having a knowledge. But they think that they have a knowledge. From your standpoint, you think that he doesn't have knowledge. He thinks he has a knowledge of doing. Let it be failure, but he is not bothered about it. He thinks that he has a knowledge and he is doing whatever knowledge he has. Whatever knowledge, maybe erroneous knowledge also. But he thinks that this is what is required to do that action. That knowledge, whatever he has, that becomes a basis. And that is after that, from that seed, the action, the sprout of action takes place. And then it comes to that sprout manifested at the level of body. So body is not a karta. Senses are not a karta. Prana is not a karta. The antakaranam, the mind is a karta. But you said, Swamiji, the one who performs an action, he has to reap the result. Yeah, he has to reap the result. When the result comes in terms of situations, then body is not going to say that I have to face all these situations. Body is not deciding. Even the senses are not deciding. Prana is not deciding. Mind decides. Yeah, this is a conducive situation. This is good. This is bad. Yeah, this is a result of my good phalam. I mean good action, etc. Is decided by where? It decided by what? By mind. The sukhakar vritti, dukkhakar vritti also is a thought. A thought of pleasure and thought of pain and whatever. So where the ultimate, the sukha and dukkha also goes, pleasure and pain also goes to the mind. If mind doesn't register the pleasure and pain, you will not feel the pleasure and pain. You will not feel the pleasure and pain if mind does not feel the pleasure and pain. That is what is happening when the person is made unconscious. Unconscious means his mind was put to sleep. And then they do everything. But body is not going to resist, even though they are cutting the body. I have heard this, people, doctors, especially orthopedic doctors, they treat this body like a wooden block. And they take a hammer or chisel and everything. They do all this. It's better not to see that. It's very, very difficult afterwards to go to sleep also. Very difficult. The way they do, I have seen that one, joint, they replace replacement of the joint. Literally, the way they handle. If body is suffering the pain and pleasure, it will immediately react. Why it is not reacting? Why it is not reacting? Body is not a karta, not a bhokta. Yaha karta saeva bhokta. So body does not undergo a play. Body is a vehicle, is a counter through which you definitely, it is going to come in Tattvabodha, is a counter. Anyway, mind basically is bhokta. The decision of pleasure and pain ultimately takes place in the mind. And there the decision is, I am sukhi, I am dukhi. Your mind tells, I am sukhi, I am dukhi. Mana eva sukhasya karanam, manaha eva dukkhasya karanam. They say like that. Anyway, so it is clear. Mind is a karta, mind is a bhokta. Swamiji, you are wrong. You are basically a wrong person, I tell you. Because karta, bhokta is never mind. Karta, bhokta both are conscious entity. One who suffers pain, one who enjoys the pleasure is definitely a conscious being. And one who performs action, he chooses the action. I will do this action. I will not do this. I will do this action differently, this way. Or I will suspend the action. Who decides this? A conscious being or inert? No conscious being. Well, mind is inert. How can you say that Karta Bhokta is mine? Really, you think we are full? Okay, let's decide tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Sorry, Swamiji, that I joined late, but I was trying, okay, and
What?
then suddenly
Should
to
I?
join, so I joined late, but you
That's
told us
okay.
that time, and
Yeah.
Jasmine was also trying.
Some
So I
of
was
people
thinking,
who joined even today very late. I don't mind
sorry.
anytime you can join, but sometimes a
I
thought process goes on, then I breaks and then I have to admit and all
right,
this.
yeah. So I
But
told
anyway,
Jasmine maybe we
that's
are not
okay.
able to join because of the password.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was not
No,
there.
no problem, no problem.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Oh, मजा आई क्लास में मजा आई.